Now, Nietzsche was hard on this. Nietzsche was very serious that the body must be persuaded. If you want to create a great people and a great culture, it needs to be embodied. It needs to be instinctive. It needs to be in the felt experience of the body. It can't be an intellectual thing first. That will fail. Intellectual stuff should serve this, not the other way around. The instincts should come out and be celebrated with the intellect through the divination of the passions, through making the passions divine. But of course, that is not what is achieved. So the foundational first principle is to get people to do this. The sort of answer Thad or suggest something for Thad is that in some sense your way of introducing people to Nietzscheanism, yes, he's got some amazing things to think about, but I like, it's almost like when you're treating a baby birds and you're like the mummy bird. You want to chew a lot of this stuff up and maybe just telling people to fucking go to the gym, eat cleaner, and get out of their head a little bit and get more into the sunlight. Like, that's doing a fuckload of the work. Like, that's really kind of getting people in the right place. If their instincts and their chemistry and, you know, their testosterone are up, their hormones are in good shape, they're going to be more Nietzschean than anybody who goes into academia and reads a fuckload of Nietzsche and is a little scrawny little wimp in that type of sense. Like, it's really, really important to understand these first principles. Now, it's a difficult thing because it involves actually disciplining people and getting people serious down to this type of stuff and getting the heads on straight. Now, the reason why I say this is all relevant on a philosophical sense, like, I'm trying not to come in here like Grug and be like, you just got to lift weights, bro, or something like that, because it's not that simple either. But
you should.
Well, you should, most certainly. A really important thing to understand is that Nietzsche's worry, Nietzsche was suggesting that this organizational left hemispheric Luciferian force that's going to take the population through the power of the institutions and churn out generations of youth through the schooling systems that are going to be brainwashed NPCs. It's going to completely detach them out of the body because all of our intellectualizations are based off Socrates and Plato, which is idealism, which is not connected with the body, which is going to make us abstract people and not people who live in our felt experience. This is going to create a type of person who's got this whole obsession with Christian happiness and all this type of stuff. And I don't mean this as a slander to Christians, but that sort of, maybe you could say, simplistic view of the world where everything is nice and it's all about being nice and happy and all this type of stuff. All these forces were going to combine together and create what he called someone who is not in their body, someone who's completely stuck in their noggin, someone who's obsessed with books because they've been book cooked for 2,000 years, someone who's completely chemically unaware, instinctively completely detached from their instincts and stuck in the realm of, you could say, scientific abstraction or just abstract thinking, completely left hemisphericism, as I'd say. This is the people I see when I talk to them. And this is the last man. This is the man that will claim the universe, claim the earth, and destroy it. Like
to add to that, just people who are entirely taken in by the pretense of both the Christian morality and the academic world of the mind in which they're living. So it's both detached from the real world morally, and it's detached in terms of, as you were saying, Boyo, living entirely in the world of the mind, which, I mean, Nietzsche talks at length about how that's a problem, but it's something that the broader problem about studying it is it takes a great deal of cultural context to read Nietzsche. And I had this experience because I tried to walk some friends through this book group that I did, reading Beyond Good and Evil. And the truth is, like, if my profile is dedicated to maybe like getting people to read history, Nietzsche, and do jujitsu, if I could only have one, jujitsu is kind of fitness, broader fitness, get in the gym, whatever. If I could only have somebody do one, it is the training, because it's a more realistic and less implicit lesson than the other routes, like reading Nietzsche and similar material, which takes honestly takes years of cultural conditioning and education to really understand, which sounds incredibly pretentious, but he's writing to the Western canon, so you have to know the Western canon. Sorry to interject there.
No, it's great, and it's an important.
Oh, go ahead, sir.
Well, it's just like even what Thad is saying is such an important description of what you can understand this as in a very simple way. The Greek version of education was you teach the person intellect, music, and physique. All these things were involved. And this is just a far more holistic and smarter way of doing things. And it's actually so simple on its principle. It would probably be like if you could get a generation of the youth and do that comprehensively with them, you could train their intellects in context with a physical training and an artistic and musical training properly. you would probably do a pretty decent dent. Techno Satan would be limping after that one. Let's put it that way. But of course, that would involve you being able to seize the institutional power that rules the world now, and you, like, none of us are anywhere near that. And this is where the realism comes in: is that these things are far away from our hands. They're in a very, very dire position. There's a look at the state of the world like right now. You know, like the way institutional power is getting wielded is not towards these ends. Instead, it's toward rewarding the last man with its wants and actually allowing the festering rot to experience the life as it so wishes, and just kind of get out of the way as we go live our breakaway life in our new civilization and all this type of stuff.